I wanted to play another clip here. This is pretty interesting. This has to do with Kamala.
Speaking of enemies,
she is such a soup sandwich. She's absolutely done such a horrible job, and this is just the latest example of what a horrible job she has done. This is talking about you've probably heard how she spent $1.5 billion and just absolutely blew it. She only raised like $1.25 billion, and she spent $1.5 billion. And this is particularly interesting. This isn't just Fox News or Ben Shapiro talking about what an idiot she is. This is a Democratic fundraiser who is in charge of raising the money and talking to the big donors. And
so, Vice President Harris holding a call with her campaign's top donors this afternoon as she faced questions about how the campaign was able to plow through $1 billion and still came up short. Also faces questions about what she might do next, right? Lindy Li joins us now, senior advisor to the DNC, who served on the Harris National Finance Committee. Welcome back, Lindy. And so you were on this call as a donor of in the Democratic Party, and is it over? What was it like? What can you tell us?
Thank you so much for having me. Yes, she actually held 2 calls, one for her top donors and one for grassroots. I was speaking and texting with fellow attendees of the call, and we were amazed by how self-congratulatory the tone was. I don't recall, the call was about 20, 30 minutes. I don't recall anyone taking responsibility for the fact that we spent about $2 billion across Super PAC in the campaign and came up so significantly short. We lost 7 swing states.
Self-congratulatory? In what types of things were being said?
They praised Harris as a visionary leader. I believe at one moment during the call, she was talking about her Thanksgiving recipe. And I don't say this with any malice or anything. I'm just merely conveying what happened. I think I was stunned to hear that, given just the extent and brutality of the loss and the fact that DNC staffers, at least two thirds have been fired summarily. And a lot of them are at a loss as to what to do. I'm just frankly stunned that there was no sort of postmortem or an analysis of how we can do better, what sort of lessons were learned. It was really just patting each other on the back, congratulating each other on I'm not sure what, and saying we'll see you for Christmas.
Okay, so she was talking about her Thanksgiving recipes.
Now I'm intrigued. I want to know what were we cooking?
Yeah, what did she have, right? I got to tell you, that was so embarrassing. That was so horrible. That Lindy Li is somebody who is an ally and worked worked to raise the 1.2 or whatever, 1.3 billion dollars for her horrible loss. But there were some really interesting reveals there, including that they just never had any. They knew she wasn't going to win. They knew she wasn't going to win, but they get paid on the amount of money they raise and spend, and completely fooled everybody, completely fooled the donors, completely fooled the grassroots, completely fooled what's going to end up being about 74 million voters. It was such a joke. And I think, I'm completely biased. I will never support Harris for anything because she's been so horrible on guns. And so people I think that my opinion gets discounted because of that, right? Nobody, like Alicia, you're a firearms instructor. Of course you don't like her.
Right.
But this is such justification
goes deeper than that,
of how horrible she was. But gosh, that clip cracked me up that she, that they're firing 3/4 of the staff of the Democratic National Party. She's in $200-300 million worth of debt, and all these horrible things are happening. And she's, congratulatory. She's having a congratulatory pat on the back event, right? Everybody look at everybody. Congratulations. And guess what I made for Thanksgiving? She was a horrible candidate in every way. There's no question. I'm so glad she lost.